Hi guys, I know it's been a long time since I recorded or posted anything up here. I've been going through a lot. It's been a lot for a minute. It's been a lot. A lot has happened in the past couple of months, and as you can see, I'm not where I used to be. So I moved houses, one or two things. I'll fill you all in on that later on when I feel more comfortable too. But I did have to record this because I've been wanting to do this exact topic for months actually. I should have recorded this a while back, but as I said, it's been a lot. So we're going to be getting into it right now. So if you just stumbled upon this video, hi, my name is Big Ma and this is the Big Ma Experience, and you're welcome to an experience of a lifetime. So don't go nowhere, we'll be right back. Alright, so I recently turned 40. Yay! Yes, I know, I'm old. So for me, turning 40 was more than just celebrating 40 years old. I had to do a lot of introspection. I had to do a lot of, looking back at my life and how far I've come, my growth, my healing, my spiritual journey and everything. And I'm glad I didn't record this before I turned 40 because now it makes more sense to me to be able to talk about it. I know that from the title you're like, how can you say that clinical depression was the best thing that happened to you? Well, for me, it was the best thing that happened to me, and I'm being freaking honest right now because a lot of people I know are depressed and they cannot see the positive out of it. I've always been a positive Nelly. I've always seen the brighter side of everything, which would naturally piss people off who want to be pessimistic and negative. So that's why I'm a lone wolf. I walk by myself. And I realized that if I never became clinically depressed in 2019, 2020, I would have not turned my life around. Now, I know I've talked about going to rehab, I've talked about, toxic friendships, dealing with narcissists, and so many other things. But one thing I've not really harped on is what being clinically depressed did for me, that helped me and actually saved my life. Now, I have mentioned before that I started my spiritual awakening journey in 2019, and when it started I was already depressed, but it wasn't like full blown yet. But it started, I think, like from 2016-17, but it really became full-fledged in 2019. And a lot of things happened to me. I lost a lot of weight that year. I hated my body, I hated myself, but I didn't know as such because I was doing this plastic I love myself, I'm amazing type thing. That's why you're loving yourself from your ego instead of from your soul, where you don't believe there's anything wrong with you, whereas it's obvious on your face, on your body, on your whole being that stuff isn't going right. If I can, I would insert some pictures of me back then so you can understand and see the difference. I was not cute, but I was lying to myself that I was cute. I was literally like swallowed up by so much depression, and I was delusional about the state of my being. And because it also clashed with me having a spiritual awakening, I couldn't really see through the fog. And I'm someone that's always been like a God person since I was a kid. Like, I've always known God, but not like intimately like I do now. And I've always just talked about him. I've never not said anything about God. So it's funny to me when people say now that, oh, I talk about God a lot. I've always talked about God. The difference is I'm not surrounded by so much noise and distractions that, I'm more centered and focused on him right now. Anyways, so in 2020, when I was taken to rehab, because I did not go of my own will, but I'm glad that I went. Shout out to my parents, amazing human beings. May God continue to bless them. Anyways, when I went to rehab, I didn't have a choice but to sit with myself and my thoughts. Because in rehab, you have no access to electronics, you have no access to distractions as such from the outside world. Even the television has limited TV stations you can watch, just movies, music, and news. So you really have, I'm not a TV watching person since 2018. So for me, I wasn't really like interested in that. But that was where I started learning to do more introspection and go within. And because the minute I found out that I was clinically depressed, which was during one of the group therapy sessions where I had to open up and share, and then the therapist let me know that, okay, girl, you're depressed, and then explain the signs of depression to me and all of that, I had to sit back and I'm like, okay, I've always been depressed since I was a kid. I've always known that one. But it's never been this bad that they will have to bring me to the hospital. That I had to, because it was so bad, I cut off my family. I told my parents to disown me. Yeah. I was like, I am not your child, you know. You have other kids, so you can forget about me. I do not exist. I was cutting off everyone. And it wasn't in a way like it was healthy. Granted, now that I look back at it, the people I cut off when I was clinically depressed, I had to redo that cutoff again when I started healing, because I guess subconsciously I knew they were bad for me, but I didn't go about it the right way because I was angry. I was in so much pain. I couldn't really see through the murky mess. But when I did it the second time around, I did it in stages and I took my time and I gave them a very long noose. They didn't know it was a noose. They saw it was a rope, but it was a noose. And there was no way that it wasn't going to end at some point, and it did. And I just, like, you know, everybody went through different phases where I allowed them to prove themselves and also prove me wrong. But unfortunately, or more like fortunately, they proved me right. So even though I cut them off when I was very depressed, I didn't have a good reason to. I was just angry. So I couldn't really see through what really happened. But thanks to going to rehab and being able to sit with myself, with my thoughts, being able to journal, because I made sure that I had a pen and paper and I was journaling a lot. My thoughts, all the things I had, you know, been through, things that I needed clarity on, and I still journal till now. You know, I've always journaled actually, but it was more like frivolous shit in the past. And I realized that God gave me an opportunity to see myself again, to rebirth myself. That's the only way I can think about it again. And right there in rehab, I started to form a new life. I knew it was going to take a while. I knew it was going to take stages. I knew it was not going to be a rush thing, and I was ready to be patient to see it through. Now, on the outside world, to other people, it looked like I was just, you know, processing life again. Looked like I was maybe even naive and being gullible, and probably, you know, I didn't know any better. But they didn't really understand that my silence after I came out of rehab carried a lot of weight. Because while I was in rehab, I reconnected with God. We reactivated our relationship and I became closer to him. I started to hear his voice and understand better. And that would have never happened if I didn't go to rehab, if I wasn't clinically depressed. Clinical depression saved my life, saved my relationship with my parents, and also saved my relationship with God. Because the distractions were getting louder and louder, especially towards the end of 2019. Oh, the distractions were a lot. Because I didn't want to sit down and listen to the voices in my head, I was always going out. If you remember, if you were in my life in 2019, either on social media or in person, you remember that I was always going out. There was literally no festival, party, turn up. That December, that was literally a December that I did Dirty December. I was everywhere. Even I remember one of the events I went for, I ran into a colleague and we greeted each other, and he looked at me and was like, "Big man, you look tired." Now, because I was doing the fake love thing from my ego, I was pissed by that statement. What do you mean I look tired? I've got my makeup on fleek, I'm looking all nice, you know, titties all perked. What do you mean I look tired? I was actually offended by it, because I remember telling my then friend that, imagine this motherfucker said I look tired. And she was like, don't mind him, he's jealous that you know, oh God, when you actually are using your ego to hype yourself up, your ego is fucking blind. We're hyping ourselves up, going, yeah, you know, what did they mean? They're jealous of us. See, I am so glad that I actually allowed myself to start healing, because when I look back at some of the stupid shit I was doing back then, I'm like, nah, fam, I cannot believe that I allowed the lie of the devil to, lead my life. I was not looking good. My skin was darker and not in a nice old melanin popping, no. I had permanent eye bags, like really dark circles. My whole body, as I said, if I can find pictures, I will insert them. My whole body didn't look nice. I didn't look healthy at all. I had like pigmentations on my neck, on my arms, but I would hide it with like makeup so you wouldn't really see. But then again, once you're out and you're sweating, those things start to rub off and you start looking weird. But somewhere in my head, I didn't notice any of this. And if I didn't hit the point of clinical depression, I'll have continued, carried on everything is fine. But going to rehab allowed me to look at myself, really look at myself. Like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? Why do you keep lying to yourself? It's time to start telling yourself the truth. And I'm glad I have what it takes to be able to face myself and be honest with myself, because not everybody has that in them. Some people need other people to face them and tell them the truth. I really don't have to wait for someone else to tell me the truth. All I have to do is sit down with myself and have a conversation with my higher self, with the Holy Spirit, with my spirit team, with God. And then they're like, yeah, no, girl, you're joking. You got to get better. You got to do better. And I remember the week I was leaving rehab, one of the nurses that I had befriended said something. She was like, do you remember how you looked when you came? Remember how dark your skin was? Remember how unhealthy you looked? That thing hit me, because she was right. Even though I couldn't see it in that moment, it would take me 2.5 months to realize that I was slowly dying and I didn't even know. But I was always hyping myself up, turning up, showing out and showing off like, life was so good, whereas I was dying. Literally, depression doesn't just affect your mental, it affects your health. My nails stopped growing, both toenails, and my hair started thinning. That was why, if you notice, when I came out of rehab in 2020, literally the same day I came out of rehab, I went straight to the salon and I cut off all my locks. I couldn't stand to see my locks become unhealthy, so I cut off everything. I was on low cut for like a year. Then I started to grow my hair again before I reattached my locks in 2022. But before that, I had to start everything all over again. My skin was gone. Everything was just real nasty. But God gave me a clean slate. He gave me a do-over. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to let you try again. And I believe this time you get it right. Even though between 2020 and now, I have, stumbled. I have fallen. I have lost my way once or twice. But it's not been as bad as before 2020, because now I have the tools that can help me on my journey. Instead of going back and going like, I can't do this, it's no more for me, I'm done, I don't want to heal no more, I don't want to grow no more, I don't want to get closer to God no more. Nope. Instead, it's more like, okay, this is a challenge, right? God, how are we going to surpass it? How are we going to go over this? How am I going to get better through this? And what lesson is this experience trying to teach me? Because the crazy thing is, the minute I chose to get closer to God, the minute I chose healing, the minute I chose to do right by myself, those trials and tribulations doubled up. Do not be deceived and think that when you decide to get closer to God, everything just gets easy. No. It gets easier to deal with the troubles, the trials, the tribulations, but they don't get any easier, because now the devil is pissed. He's like, this bitch is about to leave the trap I left for her. No. Let's double our attacks. Let's double our effort. And that's what has been happening to me. That is what has been happening to me, back to back. Especially now that I speak of my experiences and I share with people. The devil don't want that. He doesn't want the truth out there. He wants you to stay in that illusion, the lie, the bubble, the matrix. He wants you to stay locked, blind. and unknowledgeable about the truth. And then when people like me start speaking the truth, the attacks become more. But the crazy thing is, those attacks don't scare me. They don't make me want to go back more. If anything, they make me want to talk about God more. They won't make me want to talk about my experiences more. Because I know that there are people out there, you watching this, who needs to hear this and know that, see, there is nothing you are going through that you cannot come out of. There is nothing you are going through that you cannot come out of. I have gone through so much shit. People have tried to end my life. People have tried to destroy my reputation. People have tried to block my back time and time again. But none of that has deterred me. None of that has made me want to slow down. If anything, it has made me want to show that I do not represent earthly God. I represent the God of the universe, the one that created everything. The one that sent me here with messages to be able to give to you, to let you know that you too can be free. You too can go get the life that you deserve. You too can be happy and at peace in your mind. All you have to do is develop a very beautiful personal relationship with God outside your religion, outside what you know. You don't even need to go meet any pastor or any imam or anybody to, how do I get closer to God? He's literally waiting and wanting to hear from you. He's been waiting to hear from you. He's been like, when is my child going to ring up my line? And not because, you're broke and you need something. No. Genuinely go, God, how far? How you doing? Let's have a one-on-one chat. Talk to me about me. What do you need me to know about myself? What are the errors of my ways you need me to correct? What is it that you need me to align more with, and what is it that you need me to align less with? Because the closer I've gotten to God, the more I have seen that a lot of habits in my life that I thought, I would never let go of. Never. God has helped me realize I don't need them. They were just crutches I was holding on to, vices I was holding on to delay, my peace of mind, to delay my freedom, to delay my alignment, my ascension. I'm not going to tell you, you need to do this or you need to do that. No. We all have different templates. Just the way our fingerprints are all different. Our paths are all different. We just have guidelines, which is basically what I'm giving you. A guideline on how you can better yourself, on how you can heal, how you can develop a closer and loving relationship with God. Because what most people fail to realize, that the highest vibration is love. God is love. So therefore, when you love God and you love yourself wholly and authentically as the person God created you to be, the enemy can only try, but they will never succeed, because you have the divine protection all around you. So that anxiety that you're battling with, thinking this is my life now, I'm always going to be anxious. No, that's the lie of the devil. You need to wake up from that lie and realize that there's nothing that is wrong with you that God cannot heal. Nothing, especially when it comes to your mental. Even your physical, there's nothing, because everything is actually intertwined. When your mental isn't good, your body shuts down. You can do your research. This isn't woo. This isn't me just talking. There are researches all over online that link depression to a lot of health issues, link anxiety to a lot of heart issues, link all these things to issues within your body. Everything works hand in hand. I've been testifying for a while now, letting people know that I have not used any drugs in over 2 years. I only do plant-based medicine. Literally till date. I recently was so ill that I was like, God, is this a call home or what are we doing? Like, I ain't scared if you're saying no, it's time to come home. But God was like, nah, darling, I'm just purging your body of certain things. Everybody that was reaching out to me was, you're so sick, go to the hospital, use meds. And I'm like, I'm sorry, no, God is going to heal me. He has already told me what to do. Don't worry. And look at me today, you would not know that the shit I went through a month ago almost took my life. Because that's what happens when you actually develop a relationship with God. If I didn't become clinically depressed, I don't think that my relationship with God will be this beautiful. Because I would have not slowed down. I'll have continued to, hold on to my vices. I'll have continued to do a lot of things to distract me and not listen to the voices in my head because I didn't want to. And I'll have lost my way, probably even lost my life. And then all the beautiful messages and things that God has input in me will just go to waste. But mercy said no. God said no. He said, I put you on this earth to do something amazing. And you've only just started. And he's right. I've only just started. I just turned 40. And it feels like my life is literally just starting. I don't feel old. I don't feel like, yes, I joke about being old online all the time because it's fun. But I don't feel it. I feel like God revitalized my life. I feel younger. I've even lost some weight. I'm like, girl, body be tea. And I'm proud of who I'm becoming. I don't have friends as such. I have only, I think, 4 friends that I talk to on a regular. And even at that, everybody's lives are busy and whatnot. But I love it because I don't have distractions. And these are people that when we have conversations, it's to uplift ourselves, it's to better ourselves, it's to educate ourselves. We're not talking frivolous shit. We're sharing about God, we're sharing about self-development, we're trying to help build ourselves, And right now, I know that what I need in my life is a community of like minds who are willing to, elevate themselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I've gotten to a point in my life where, basic, everyday, nonchalant relationships do not fit into where I'm going. That's why if you're watching this and I have probably cut you off, deleted your number, blocked you, whatever, because I know some of you still like to stalk me. Hello, how you doing? It's not, a mind game where I'm trying to make you, want me or whatever. No. It's for my peace of mind, baby. I'm happy. I'm peaceful. I'm at a point in my life where I have healed so much baggage, and I will not, just because I want to have people around me, let just anyone into my energy field, my auric field. No, darling. I know the power I carry now, and I carry it with so much confidence because I'm backed by God. You can call that Godfidence. Hey, rhyming. Anyways, I am glad to be back recording. I'm glad to be back talking to you guys, sharing my experiences. And God knows there are so many experiences still left for me to share with you about my personal life, about stuff that I've encountered on my journey to healing. Even from, because I've done the inner child healing where I've been able to deal with the wounds that, held me back from certain things. I am actually at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, so what's next to heal? I'm eager to get on it because I know the fulfillment I get when I get over whatever, that hurdle is that has been holding me back. There was a time in my life where if you ignore me, I would lose my shit, especially if we're very close friends or whatever. I would lose my shit. I would crash out so bad because I do not understand why you're doing it. I had to do the inner work, the inner child healing, to realize it was a trauma response to stuff I was, facing as a child. So now if you ignore me, I'm like, I bet. Sayonara. I can't be bothered. Honestly, I've become so unbothered. I am bothered about how unbothered I am. Then again, I'm not so bothered. Oh well, this has been fun. I'm glad that I'm back in y'all's faces, and I will do my best to make sure that this is more often because I do enjoy sharing with you guys. Also, on the day I turned 40, I dropped my first ever body of work, an EP titled While I Set the Mood, because y'all know I'm a mood. Y'all know I'm a mood. You know that, so don't even argue with me, okay? Anyways, it's on all streaming platforms. It's just 3 tracks. They are amazing tracks. I've been getting so much feedback from people, and really good feedback, by the way. People are enjoying the music, and I would like more people to enjoy the music, so I'm going to put the link in the description below so that you can also go listen to it, run it up, put it on your playlist, you know, spin it, share it, because, you know, we need people to get in the mood, you know. Anyways, I guess this is where I'm going to stop today, because I've had so much fun coming on here talking to you guys, and I do hope that you leave this video with something important. You are not just entertained, you're not just watching me, or you're not just trying to figure out, you know, what I'm up to, but actually you listened, you absorbed something, and it makes your life better. Anyways, until next time, continue being kind, continue being you, because everybody else is taken. And remember, I love you, but God loves you more.